It's 24 hours. The visuals, the images of the Chinnaswamy Stadium and the Kabban Road refuse to go away from the minds of many journalists, including me. A lot of us were making an effort to get into the Chinnaswamy Stadium to see and be a part of the celebration. But after some effort, when we saw that the crowd was actually unmanageable and it was practically getting impossible to enter the designated area reserved for the media, decided to give it up. And it was something that will haunt many of us for a long time, to see the kind of mob, to see the kind of frenzy, to see the pain of the people during the stampede. It's very tough to forget. The tragic loss of 11 people is something that all of us are responsible for. While the political blame game has started and a magisterial inquiry has been ordered, but the fact is, who actually is responsible is a big question. Why an event was permitted at such short notice without proper arrangements is the question on everyone's mind. What pushed the Bengaluru City Police to succumb to the pressure from the organizers, the cricket associations, the RCB team, and the others to give permission under this kind of short notice? Events like this need planning. The probe inquiry will come out with a report in 2 to 3 weeks and hopefully will pin the blame on the person who was responsible for it. The Karnataka government has said that the Chinnaswamy Stadium event was organized not by the Karnataka government but by the KSCA and the RCB itself. And it was pressure from them that forced the Bangalore City Police to give permission. Well, thankfully, the victory parade, which was supposed to be from the assembly to the stadium, was called off at the last moment, seeing the frenzy of the crowd. Nearly 4 lakh people gathered at a 2 square kilometer area, and that's something which anybody could not have managed, and that's something which is the trigger. Well, preventive steps were taken, but it was little too late and too less. In middle of the chaos, people were left to fend for themselves as people helped people overcome the trauma and save each other's lives. The Bangalore City Police was under pressure, no doubt. They were overwhelmed by the crowd, and that was something that triggered panic buttons. Nobody had the courage to call off the event, though a message was sent to shorten it after the tragedy. But the question was whether it would have been prudent to call it off as is being demanded by several political parties. The fact is, when you have a crowd of this dimension and this level, so euphoric, in a celebratory mood, it event could not have been called off, is something that the police opted for. But they sent a message that it need to be cut short with very little of celebrations, and that's how the event was managed. The questions are many. The answers may not come through. But the fact is there a lesson for all of us? Yes. In a country which believes in hero worship, in a country which believes in idolizing people, in this case it was Virat Kohli, that you need to stay away from this kind of mobs where you feel unsafe, where you feel that things could go wrong, especially for the women and children. It's prudent that you do not try to force your way and try to get into a place and enclosure, but steer clear. While most of us will forget the event maybe after a few days, though the visuals are still disturbing the mind, but for those who lost their dear ones, for those who suffered the injuries, this will be a trauma of a lifetime. Better crowd management, better infrastructure, better organization, better monitoring, better intelligence, better inputs are something that need to be a part of our urban systems. This was an eye opener. This was a lesson that we need to remember. Yes, cricket is a religion for many of us, but the fact is, you don't have to deify and become sacrificial lambs at the altar. For many of us who have witnessed to this trauma, it will take some time to get over it. There will be some life lessons learned for us not to venture into these kind of zones where crowd management is a challenge. But for those who lost their lives, the lives of families are shaken forever because they've lost loved ones, young, youth, even a child. The loss is irreparable for them. Our heart goes out to the families, and we only pray for the departed souls. Vijay Grover, Bangalore.